Have you heard about Hispanic Heritage Month? Make sure to check out my most recent lesson to learn more. Welcome, friends. Mrs. A here with another story to share with you. Thank you so much for liking this video and subscribing to my channel so you can see all of the stories I share. This week we have a story written and illustrated by a Hispanic author, and next week I'll have a different story to share with you, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see it. Today's book, Itzel and the Ocelot, was written and illustrated by Rachel Katstaller, and she is from a small country in Central America called El Salvador. Have you ever heard of El Salvador before? If you were around all the way back in season 1 with me, we talked a little bit about El Salvador and talked about some of the things that are important to them as a country and also studied their flag. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Special shout out to Kids Can Press for allowing me to share this incredibly beautiful book with you, and of course our author-illustrator Rachel Katstaller. And I think it's a really fabulous story, and you can learn more about why she wrote it in the back by her author's note, and you can also find out some words in this glossary. You'll see some words in this story that are in a different language than English. They're in Nahuatl or Spanish, and Nahuatl is a native language of El Salvador. So I was really excited to learn these Nahuatl words and practice them, and I'm going to do my best to read them throughout the book. Let's get started with Itzel and the Ocelot by Rachel Katstaller. Itzel and the Ocelot. Here we see Itzel and the Ocelot. I wonder what they're going to be up to. Many, many years ago, although it might have been yesterday, a little girl named Itzel lived with her Nana at the edge of the jungle. Itzel loved nothing more than to listen to her Nana's stories and to play the flute her grandfather had made for her. The year of our story, a long, dry spell had plagued the country, and not one drop of rain had fallen from the sky. Itzel and her Nana needed rain to water the seeds they had planted together. Their stores of corn, beans, and squash were running low. Her Nana would soon have nothing to sell at the market, and worse, they would have nothing to eat. Really hope the rain comes. How do you think Nana and Itzel might be feeling, knowing that their land is really dry and their seeds may not have enough water to grow? They may be feeling nervous, worried, anxious. I agree. At night, as the fresh breeze cooled them, Itzel swung in the hammock and her Nana told her favorite story. When the earth was newly born, her Nana began, the lords of the hills would awaken the giant snake from its deep sleep. First with a whisper, and then with a deep thunderous cry, the giant snake would bring the arrival of the rainy season. Nana, why have I never seen the giant snake? Itzel asked. Many do not believe in it anymore, so it has returned to the place where the water is born, answered her Nana. Goodness, how long will we have to wait for this rain? Her Nana sighed impatiently. Itzel offered her a sip of Atoll. No, my child, you eat. I'm already full, she said, even though Itzel could hear her Nana's stomach grumble. If only Itzel could do something. Could she find and awaken the giant snake herself? I see Nana and Itzel trying to be really generous and extra kind here. Nana's saying, no, you can eat, I don't need it, even though she's feeling hungry. And Itzel is thinking, how can I help fix this? That night, as her Nana slept deeply, Itzel took her flute and left home in search of the river and the mysterious giant snake. The full moon cast deep shadows teeming with threatening shapes. Itzel felt her way through the trees, but then, all at once, She lost her footing and plunged down, tumbling and tumbling deep into the jungle. Friends, how might you be feeling if you tumbled deep into the jungle like Itzel? Yes, I would feel scared. I might feel worried about what I'm tumbling into. She's really brave. Large, glittering eyes and shiny, sharp teeth glimmered in the darkness. "Please don't hurt me," Itzel screamed. "I'm just looking for the giant snake." After several heartbeats, Itzel opened her eyes. And Ocelot was staring right at her. "You know about the giant snake?" he asked. "You can speak?" Itzel was amazed. "All animals can speak, but you humans never listen," he said. "Why are you looking for the giant snake?" "I need it to bring us water for our crops. I'm thirsty myself. I guess I could help." The Ocelot gestured for Itzel to follow him deeper into the jungle. Crack, crunch, creak. From afar, Itzel saw an opossum trying to shape a kamal. The clay was too dry, and the kamal kept breaking in half. "Why don't you come with us to search for the giant snake?" Itzel asked. "The giant snake doesn't exist," the opossum snorted. "But it wouldn't hurt to look, just to make sure." If you're not sure what a kamal is, if you go into the glossary in the back of this book when you get your own copy, you'll be able to learn more. The three marched on. Next, Itzel saw a toothy creature crying next to a spindly tree. Concerned, she asked, "Do you also need the giant snake to bring back the rain?" "The giant snake!" the Agati scoffed. "I'm going to find it at the river," Itzel said. The Agati wiped the tears from her eyes. "I need water for my tree to grow enough huacales to sell at the market. So, if you're going to find water, I might as well join you." Huacales are a fruit that grow on trees. I learned that from the glossary in the back. On they walked, winding through deep shadows and moonlight streaming in through the boughs. Suddenly, Itzel stopped. She had run into a funny creature hanging upside down by her long tail. "Are you all right?" Itzel asked. "Yes," the Kinkajou said, "but my children aren't. They are waiting for me to bring water, and there is none to be found." "Would you like to come look for the giant snake with us?" Itzel offered. "Well, we can at least try," the Kinkajou said, looking unsure, but following along. Do you see that Kinkajou hanging upside down? More animals joined Itzel in her search for the giant snake. Even though they didn't believe they would find it, all needed water. Itzel pressed on, determined to prove the giant snake's existence. Something was shining beyond the trees. Was this the place where water is born? Had Itzel been right all along? All the creatures held their breath. But there was nothing there. The riverbed was dry. Heartbroken, Itzel realized the truth. She had given these creatures false hope. There was no giant snake and no water, and the seeds her Nana had planted would never grow. Itzel hadn't been able to save them. She sat down and started playing her flute. As tears ran down her cheeks, the creatures cried with her. We hear that Itzel is heartbroken. Do you know what that means? She's feeling very sad. She's feeling disappointed, discouraged, defeated. There is a big drought in Itzel's community. That means the earth is dry There hasn't been rainfall and the rivers aren't flowing fast. And when there's a big drought, then things can't grow and creatures can't get the water they need to quench their thirst. Unfortunately, droughts happen in a lot of different places around the world. Right now, the western side of the United States is experiencing a big drought where water is running dry and there is not a lot of rainfall. There are lots of consequences to droughts. Boom! Crash! Roar! From underneath them, a long shadow sprang into the sky. The riverbed surrounding them started to fill with water. Do you think Itzel's flute song and tears woke up the giant snake? Itzel and the ocelot held onto each other as a wave from the rising river lifted them up, carrying them downstream. Along the banks of the river, the other animals began their journeys home. What a relief! On the way down, they waved goodbye to the other creatures. The kinkajou looked pleased as she cooked breakfast for her children. "Thank you," said the agati, cheerfully watering her tree. With dirty paws, the opossum waved a thankful goodbye as he finished shaping the kamal. Thank goodness, water started to flow. Finally, Itzel and the ocelot were home. They joined her Nana in the hammock to watch the rain fall. How do you think Nana and Itzel and the ocelot are feeling now? Grateful, relieved, hopeful. Many, many years ago, although it might have been yesterday, the world was set right again by a little girl who had the courage to believe in the tales of old. The end. Friends, thank you so much for listening to Itzel and the Ocelot with me. I wanted to remind you that I love you because you're you, not because of what you do. I can't wait to see you next time.